course, 1% would be 3.5 million. Well, you got about 10 million millionaires in America in general, the whole country, okay? Well, so if we just go on that basis, and there's 35 million African Americans, then we need at least 1 million millionaires, okay? Because 10% would be 3.5 million, okay, and 1% would be 350,000. So if we get 1 million millionaires in our community, then we can wipe out poverty. Does that make sense? Yes. We can wipe out poverty. We can build jobs, and you know, it's like I tell people all the time, and not just build an economy just in our community, but build an economy that brings in money from other communities to our community. Does that make sense? Yes. You know, open up your McDonald's and put it at the airport, right? So everybody can spend some money over there and bring something over to your house that, you know, because they're just going to buy a brand anyway, right? Yeah. You know, they're just going to buy a brand, and so when you invest in brands, you make money from all from all communities, and that's really what it's all about. Okay, so we can accomplish that in my econ because we teach the step-by-step process. Anybody ever play Bid Whiz? Well, let me start with spades, you know? I'm going to start with spades. Okay, we're going to start with spades. Anybody ever play? All y'all Bid Whiz players, just go down on that, right? Anybody ever play spades? All right, even in spades, you got to know what you're doing a little bit, right? Now, if you play Bid Whiz, what about the Bid Whiz players? Anybody Bid Whiz player? If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be a mess, right? I mean, you can say all you want to, you know the deck got 52 cards, and you played before, and you really motivated to play, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be disaster, right? And it's going to continue to be disaster game after game after game. Am I correct? And that's the way it is with finance. We cannot just make it concept. It can't just be general. It's got to be detailed, step by step. What do I do? In other words, if I'm going to buy stock, how do I do it? If I'm going to build, if I want a 12 or 15% return on my money, what do I do step by step? Does that make sense? If I want to get out of debt, what do I need to do? Step by step. Not just this concept thing of, we can do it, I'm excited, and I'm motivated. Everybody with that? we can be motivated. That's not the best thing, is it? You know, when I was in college and I played football at Georgia Tech, you know, Georgia Tech, they're a pretty decent football team. They're just kind of decent, right? But we played the University of Florida back when they were really good in the 70s. And man, we were so excited on Friday night. And we were so motivated on Friday night. But you know, we were nerds, really. You know, we're just pretty good football players. By the third quarter, it was 42-0. Because they really could play football. so we got to make things really detailed. Am I correct? Yes. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about. So our concept is simple. Our mission is simple. And that's to help people attain personal financial success. So let's define it. Personal financial success is simply having enough cash flow to support your lifestyle. Now, that's a different number to different people. Some people need $3,000 a month, some 5, some 10, some 20. Everybody's got a different number, don't they? Okay, but we all have two things in common, okay? Now, the two things we have in common is that cash flow's got to come from two unique sources, two different sources. During our working years, it's going to come from our labor as we work jobs or build businesses, okay? But at some point, that money has got to come without us working. Am I correct? Okay, whether that's retirement, disability, downsizing, don't want to do it anymore, whatever it is, at some point, that money has got to come from assets that produce income. Things like stocks, bonds, real estate, 401ks, 403bs, pension plans, annuities, something that will generate income without us continuing to work. Does that make sense for everybody? Yeah. Now, you know the best part about that? That's not even Ivy's idea. That's just the way that it is. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, our government even understood that. You know, that's why they created Social Security. Because back in the 20s and 30s, people were retiring or getting to retirement age and they had nothing. They'd been working all their lives and they had nothing. So they said, we're going to create Social Security. And they started out taking 2% of everybody's income and then they put it in a fund, and then when you retire, you get the money. Now it's 15.3%. Okay? 7.65 out of your pocket, and then your employer has to match it whatever they took out of your check, they got to match it. Am I correct? And then when you get to a certain age, then you start getting that money back in the form of retirement check. But even that's not enough, is it? Okay, it's not enough, okay? So then even corporate America got in on the deal. And after World War II, they created pensions, where you work a job for X number of years, you stop working, and then you get a pension. Now, a lot of people retired on that, okay? Some people are getting pensions today. That one worked the best. Okay, that one worked the best, but that one's gone, right? Because corporate America said, we can't afford this. But you know what really motivated me? I grew up, probably a whole lot worse than Sid did. He grew up over there in Memphis, North Memphis. He said it was tough. I don't think it was that bad. But I grew up in South Georgia, where we pick cotton and crop tobacco, 6.5 days a week, And my kids said, well, Dad, that must have been like 100 years ago. No, that was...
I ain't picking no cotton. I ain't picking no cotton.
So I really did grow up, in a poor environment. But, I was raised by the mother of a little holiness church, so we had to go to church. Seemed to me like it was all day, every day. But really it wasn't. But one of the things that I really learned from the Bible was that it's God's idea also, because he says, I give you power to gain wealth. That really motivated me, because then I said, okay, so I really can do this. I was just born in a mess, but I don't have to stay in a mess. I really can get some stuff. But then the whole thing is people tell you, well, if you don't have any money, you can't get any money, right? You got to take money to make money. You ever heard that? And I heard that all my life. And I said, well, God, that don't make a bit of sense to me. If I got to have money to get money, I don't have any money, how am I going to get some? And you say you gave me power to gain wealth. There's a disconnect somewhere. So I had to say, okay, well, where does money really come from? And when you take a look at the company, when you take a look at America, the majority of the wealth in America was not created for money. It was created from skills, talents, and ideas. Okay, let's take the Heinz Food Company, right? That wasn't really about money, right? They took some real simple products, tomatoes, a little vinegar, a little salt, a little pepper, a little sugar, boom, put it together, and start marketing. Now, it would take money to build what they have today, but they didn't have a lot of money to get started. Am I correct? But if we look over at Oprah's wealth, that really come from money, did it? That came from talent and skill. Am I correct? All right, so we're going to revisit that in a few minutes, where wealth and money come from. Because you don't have to have a lot of money to be able to become a millionaire or a billionaire. Okay, because God already put inside of us what we need. We just got to activate it. So I'm going to come back to that in a minute, right? All right, so the bottom line is, in this idea that during our working years, we're going to work for the money, but at some point, we're just going to own assets that's going to generate the money without us working, okay? So, to put it into a nutshell, we've got to earn enough money during our working years to support our lifestyle. Simultaneously, while we're doing that, we've got to invest enough money so that when we stop working, our assets will continue to generate that income. Everybody cool with that? Yeah. Now, to do that, most people are going to need more cash flow, aren't they? Yep. Bottom line, real simple. Most people just need some more cash, okay? Now, they're going to need cash for the current lifestyle, because everybody's got some stuff they want to buy. Anybody got some stuff you want to buy? I can think of some stuff I could buy, right? I can always think of something to spend money on, And we got to have money to invest, okay? So we got to buy stuff and we got to invest simultaneously to get where we want to get. Now, but getting more cash flow is not always easy if we're in that mindset that we're going to get it from one source, our labor. Am I correct? It's not that easy to get a significant pay raise on a job. Am I correct? It's not even always that easy to build a business and get significant cash flow from a business. Am I correct? So we've got to have some alternative sources to get some cash flow. Everybody cool with that idea? Yes. Okay, we got to have some alternative ways to get that cash, because the cost of living is constantly going up. Taxes are high, so we need some additional methods. So we created a strategy that we call income shifting. And income shifting gives us the ability to get cash flow 5 ways, okay? 5 new ways to get cash flow. So let's talk about each of those details, okay? The first stream, cash flow stream, of course, is correct tax withholding. The second is minimized taxes. The third is generating business income. The fourth is debt elimination. And number 5 is investing to create passive income. 5 cash flow streams. So let's talk about each of them in detail. Now the first one is really fun and really easy, okay? The first one is correct tax withholding. Here's why. According to the IRS, 80% of all employees have too much money taken out of their paycheck for taxes. Okay, anybody ever felt that way? That when you get your check, you're like, oh my goodness. Could they really do it like that to me, right? You know, you thought you were going to get 5 and you got 4. You know, you thought whatever it was, right? And so, but the reality of it is 80% of the people are having too much money taken out of their check for taxes. Now that happens because when people start jobs, they're asked to fill out a form called a W-4, and that form tells their employer how much money to take out for taxes. Unfortunately, the form has poor instructions and no one helps, so most people fill it out wrong. Mm-hmm. Now, they don't know it's wrong, and plus they don't worry about it because they're like, well, it is what it is. Everybody heard that term?
It is what it is.
What it is. Ain't nothing I can do about it, right? My dad used to get mad and cuss the IRS out every time he got the paycheck. And then one day I found out he filled the form out incorrectly. They didn't do it. It really wasn't even the IRS doing it, it was his doing it. Okay? Now, so, and then most people don't even, and then some people, they're kind of, you know, they don't even worry about too much money being taken out because they're like, well, I'll get it at the end of the year. You know? But the reality is they don't get it all at the end of the year, do they? No. They get a small percentage of it at the end of the year. Am I correct? Yes, sir. All right. But even if they got all the money back that they took out at the end of the year, they would still lose money. They would lose money because of something called ROI, return on investment. See, our money has value. So you can use money to make money. You can use money to make money by investing, or you can use money to make money by paying off debt. Because if you pay debt off, you save interest payments. Am I correct? Yeah. All right, so that's what we're talking about, all right? So the bottom line is, when people, could you imagine how much money a person loses if the IRS holds their money for their $3,000 to $5,000 of their money for their entire working lifetime? Now, a way you can know that is something called the banker's secret or the rule of 72. Okay, the banker's secret or rule of 72 says you divide 72 by whatever return you're getting on your money, and it'll tell you how long it takes for your money to double. So in other words, if the IRS, if you had your form filled out correctly and you got your money and you invested the money instead of the IRS investing your money in their name, how much money would that save you, or how much money would you make over a working lifetime? Which could easily be what, 20, 25, 30, 35, maybe even 40 years? Is that about right? All right, so let's just take, now, the market has returned about 9.5% return for the last 100 plus years, okay? Real estate's returned more than that. I'm sure, you know, everybody here, you know plenty of people that bought houses, you know, 20 years ago, and now the houses were twice what they were then, right? Okay, so it's pretty simple. Assets are going to go up in value, okay? So the bottom line is the IRS is holding $5,000 of a person's money, and they're doing that, and if that person had the money, they could invest it and get 8%, it would double every 9 years, okay? So in 9 years, it would be $10,000. In 18 years, it would be $20,000. 27 years, it would be $40,000, and so on. Everybody got that? And remember, this is happening every single year because the IRS take the money out of your check, or your employer take it out, send it to the IRS. And the IRS, they invest that money. Now, how do they invest it? They invest it by putting it in a bank, and then the bank loans it to people for cars, houses, and businesses. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. All right, so your money is going to make somebody some money. Am I correct? Yeah. You have to decide who. You know, some people say, well, it don't matter, I'll just get it, you know. But see, here's the reality. Your money is going to make somebody wealthy. You have to determine who. Money is going to definitely make money for somebody. Everybody with that? Yes. Okay? All right. So bottom line, so what we do every day is we show people how to change their W-4. We see them pick up an additional $200 to $800 a month in new cash flow. They take that cash flow, start investing or paying off debt. Anybody here that changed their debt before and got more cash, raise your hands. All right, good deal. So you got some more cash, you can put that cash to work. Even if you just use it for your lifestyle, you're still happy because it's your money, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the first step to get cash in my econ. So here's what the problem is, okay? Here's the number one problem from building wealth and a person becoming financially successful, okay? And it all goes back to this step before, okay? Most people see themselves as the way they're going to make money is to work. See, think about it. When did someone first look at you in your life? Were you 5 or 7 or 12 or 15 or 25, whatever age it was, and they said, you're going to be an investor. You're going to be a business owner. You're going to be a financial success. You're going to be the type person that's running a financial institution. Or did somebody look at you when you were 5 and 7 and 9 and say you're going to be a worker? Everybody understand the difference in those two things? Yeah. You know, now they didn't do it intentionally, right? But you know, my mom and my dad and my parents and the pastor and the people and all the people in my community, they didn't do that intentionally, but they could only do what they knew. Okay? So from the time I was 5, 6, 7 years old, they labeled me as a worker and an employee. Am I correct? Yeah. But how many of you know that you will never build wealth working? Yes. You can make a living working, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the reason you can't build wealth working. Because when you work a job, you do build wealth, but the company owns the wealth that you create. Yes. And when you build your own business, you own the wealth. Does that make sense? Okay, Angela's got her boutique, right? Well, guess what? That business is valuable. She's got an asset. She could sell it for the value that she built. Well, if she worked at the boutique and somebody else owned it, all she got is her next paycheck and the opportunity to go back to work. Is that where it works? So it's totally positioning, isn't it? Yes. But because probably no one in your life ever looked at you and told you and thought about you being a business owner, being an employer, not just an employee, even though there's nothing wrong with being an employee, there's nothing wrong with it because billions of people have made a living working jobs. Am I correct? Yeah. But if your goal is to create wealth and to get your heritage that God said He gave us power to do, at some point in our life, we've got to, in addition to having a job, or even replace a job with a business and assets. Am I correct? Everybody agree with that? Okay? All right. So that's what it's all about. And so we want to get that cash and start putting that cash to work. You know, next June, we have a conference in Atlanta periodically. We had a great conference last year. And the Chicago team, they really mopped up, right? Yes. They mopped up. They brought a whole lot of hardware. Right? We get big trophies, right? Well, we're not going to have a conference next year. We're not going to have a conference in June. We're going to have one in 2019. But the reason we're not going to have a conference in June is because in June we're going to buy part of America. See, instead of just spending money with Marriott, making them rich, right? Mm-hmm. Spending money with American Airlines and Delta and all the other companies, right? Then we need to buy stock in those companies. If we're going to live here, we need to own part of the deal. Does that make sense for everybody? Amen. So instead of spending and consuming next June, it's going to be all about buying and investing next June. Does that make sense for everybody? Yeah. See, at some point, we got to implement the deal. Am I correct? Yes. At some point, we got to create a new habit. See, we all operate on habits, right? You ever had a habit that you couldn't stop? You know, I got a habit I like to eat, you know, just keep on. It's a hard habit to stop, right? That's a tough habit, right? You know? But, you know, so we got to create habits of, rather than just going shopping for some clothes or shoes or cars and all those things, the wonderful, we all like them, we're going to actually go shopping in June for some stock and for some wealth. You know, somebody's going to say, well, you know, how do I pick a good one? Just pick one. You know, if you never picked one before, just pick one, right? Let me tell you a good place you can think about starting, right? If your money is good enough to go in a bank, your money is good enough to buy part of the bank. Yes. Right. So you think if you can put $1,000 in a bank in a savings account or a CD, why you couldn't buy stock and own part of the bank? You know, then somebody's going to say, well, you know, your money's safe when it's in the bank. safer in the bank than it is if you own part of the bank? Come on now. So in June, if you can't think of anywhere else to invest, just go down to the bank where you put your money in and say, go online and say, I want to buy some stock in this bank. See, because when you put your money in the bank, you make money on your money only. But when you own stock in the bank, you make money on everybody's money that's in the bank. We got to change positions. Everybody with that? Yeah. All right, that's what we're going to talk about. All right? So that's our first step in my econ. First cash flow stream is correct tax withholding. And over 80% of the people have between $300 and $500 a month out there now that they can get. It's their own money because they made a mistake on their W-4. Get that money and put it to work. Everybody with that? Yeah. All right, let's go to number 2. Number 2, minimize taxes. You see, everybody doesn't pay the same percentage in taxes, okay? I mean, we all know that, don't we, okay? Let me give you a quick example. If somebody's buying a house, they get tax deductions. They get to write off the interest portion of the mortgage. In the early days, that's the majority of the mortgage, okay? And they get to write off the property taxes, right? Now, if they're renting a house, those taxes are still written off, but the owner gets to write them off, even though the renter is paying the bill. Does that make sense? All right, so everybody is not paying the same amount of taxes. Well, that's the way it works with a house. Let's talk about how it works with a business. Now, when you own a business, you get access to hundreds of deductions that you don't have access to when you're an employee, okay? Hundreds of deductions, okay? And here's the best part about it. Many of the things that you can deduct as a business owner, you're already spending money on them as an employee, even though you don't have a business. So what I'm saying is, you're going to actually be able to get tax deductions without spending extra money out of your pocket. You see, the thing about our strategies are based on just that. They're based on strategies, they're not based on labor. Okay? See, we want some strategies where we don't have to work for the money, right? Anybody want to work for all the money they ever get? No, at some point in life, you got to get paid without working. Am I correct? Some people don't like that idea. They just say, I work for every dime I get. And I'm like, that ain't smart. I want to get a dime I don't work for, right? And I told you that wasn't Ivy's idea, that's God's idea. He said he gave us power to gain wealth, right? So we're actually supposed to be able to make money without working. And that's a tough idea for some people, because some people, they put so much value on work because that's what they've done all their life. And there's nothing wrong with it. Work is good. But the people who actually become the wealthiest in the world, the people who create the wealth is created from strategy, not labor. See, labor makes you a living, and wealth and strategy makes you wealthy. Does everybody understand that? All right, so let's talk about some of these deductions that we could be taking if we owned a business, all right? Number 1 is transportation, car and truck expenses. See, maybe you bought your vehicle for personal use, but if you start using it in business, now it becomes a business vehicle and becomes partially tax deductible. Now, you can write off things like a percentage. You can write off business miles at about 55 cents a mile. Now, so how do you create a business mile? If you drove here tonight and you're in business, that's a business mile, right? That's business mileage, right? Or if you own a business and you go to church on Sunday and and you pass a business card to somebody in the parking lot, or you leave there and go to the restaurant and have lunch, and you talk to somebody about your business and give away a business card, now you are doing business doing that on that mileage. Does that make sense? Okay, maybe you go somewhere for the holidays and you drive and you pass out a business card and talk to your cousin or a family member about business. Whether they do business with you or not, those mileage were business miles, okay? All right, so and you can write off business miles at about 55 cents a mile. So let's say you drive 15,000 miles a year, and you write off half of it, or write off, 2/3 of it. See, now you got 8,000 to 10,000 miles a year you're writing off at 55 cents a mile. Well, that's about $5,000 in tax deductions. Okay? So the government says, so if a person makes $60,000, the government, and they run off $5,000 for business miles, now the government would say they made $55,000. They make the same money, but they're going to get taxed on less. Does that make sense? They're going to get taxed on less, okay? Now, if you don't want to do mileage, so if you drive a lot, do mileage, okay? If you drive more than 10,000 miles a year, do mileage. Now, if you don't drive a lot, okay, and you got an expensive car, then you want to do what's called actual expenses, where you want to write off a percentage of the gas, tires, maintenance, insurance, lease payments if you lease the vehicle, interest payments if you're making a note on the vehicle, and a percentage of the original cost of the vehicle, which they call depreciation. Okay? So let's say you're only driving 5,000 miles a year, but you got an expensive car, right? But only 2,000 of them are business. Okay, so that's 40%. So you get to write off 40% of all those things I talked about: gas, tires, maintenance, insurance, lease payments, interest. Have you ever noticed that if you've got a car note at the end of the year, they send you a 1098 that tells you how much interest you paid on the car note that year? That is if you're in business, okay, then you'll have that information and you can write part of it off on your taxes, okay? So that's what it's all about. So you get to write that off. Now, so that's thousands of dollars that we're all spending on transportation, whether we're in business or not. Am I correct? Yeah. Now, if we can write part of that off, that's money that we're putting back in our pocket with strategy, not labor. Everybody say strategy, not labor.
Strategy, not labor.
Okay? See, that's what it's all about, putting the strategy in place. Because, see, some people are working really hard, they make really good money, but the tax man takes a big chunk of it. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, you say, well, and then some people, they look at this and they say, well, yeah, but see, I don't want to get no red flags. You know, I mean, I don't want to do some stuff that's illegal. You know, I don't want to do that stuff, that's tricky, because, I might get in trouble, I might go to jail or whatever, right? But see, they got it all wrong. The government wants us to do this. See, here, let me tell you why the government wants us to do this. Because, we are in a capitalistic society. And in a capitalistic society, the government doesn't own businesses. The government gives the citizens, the people of the country, the incentive to build businesses. And then the government taxes the people that work for the businesses. Okay, you ever heard of nonprofit? There's really no such thing as non-taxed. See, if you work for a nonprofit, they're not going to tax the nonprofit. But if you get a paycheck, they're going to tax you on the paycheck. Am I correct? The government wants us to do this. This is you don't have to lie, you don't have to cheat, you don't have to hook, you don't have to crook, none of that. The government, this is what we're supposed to be doing to build our economy. See, the government says, okay, we don't build businesses, so we want you to take the money and build businesses which will create jobs. See, we do network marketing here in my econ. I've been doing this for 37 years, right? Well, guess what? We're all out here in the field, and we're independent contractors, but we have a staff at corporate that we pay wages to. So we have created jobs. The government wants us to, this is how you build an economy. They want us to take the dollars, and they say, now, if you reinvest those dollars wisely, we'll let you write them off, because you're going to create an economy that we can tax in the future. And the bigger the economy, the more employees, the more businesses, the more tax dollars the government gets. Everybody got that? It's just like you're going to hear a whole lot of stuff about this in the coming months. It doesn't mean anything, but you'll just be able to hear it, right? They're going to say, well, if we lower taxes and grow the economy, we'll have the same money. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's what you're going to hear. But since I'm in a high tax bracket, then they can lower them to zero. It won't bother me. Anybody get that? But that's the whole idea, is you lower taxes, so you give more money to people. They take that money, build more businesses, and so then you can tax more businesses, and you end up where you were before. Okay? So that's the whole idea. Let's look at a few more. What about cell phones, internet access? Aren't we spending money on them anyway already? Okay, so use them 50, get a business, use them 50% in business, 70% in business, and make them tax deductible. Does that make sense? Yeah. See, think about this concept this way, okay? If your cell phone bill is $60, it's really $80. Okay, let me tell you why, okay? if you're in the 25% tax bracket, and most people that make a living are that or higher, you have to make $1 so the government can take 25 cents for taxes, and then you get to take 75 cents home to spend, right? So if your cell phone bill is $60, you got to make 80. So the government can get 20 for taxes, that's 25%, right? So you can have $60 to pay the phone bill. Is that where it works?
Yeah.
That's where it works with all expenses, am I correct?
Yeah.
But if your cell phone bill is tax deductible, now you make the 80, you get the whole 80. Because you don't have to pay taxes on it. You get to keep the $20. And you still have 60 to pay the phone bill. Does that make sense? And see, when you start doing that, when you have like the statistics as Angela was showing at the beginning there, those statistics are real. But see, here's why. Because some people, you can have two people working the same job. Both of them making $100,000 a year, doesn't matter the number. And one person can lower their taxes and start buying real estate on the side. Okay? Or one person can lower their taxes and start maxing out their retirement account. And the other person is just getting their check and saying it is what it is. And over a 10-year period of time, those two employees who make the same money will end up in totally different positions financially. Everybody understand what's going on? Yes, sir. That's what we have to change. See, we don't have to work harder. We already work hard. All we got to do is implement the strategies in our life, and the wealth will be created. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, let's look at a couple more. What about travel? Maybe going to the family reunion next year, right? Maybe you go out of town on a regular basis, or maybe you're going to visit family for the holidays. Well, guess what? Talk to somebody about business while you're there, and make the trip tax deductible. Is that good for everybody?
Yes.
All right, I like that tax deductible travel. Everybody like that? Okay, what about meals and entertainment? It's football season, right? All right, so a lot of people are tailgating. People got parties. You got the holidays coming up. Well, make all of those events tax deductible. Make them opportunities to get contacts for your business. Make them networking events. Does that make sense? And now those foods and all those refreshments that you serve, they're partially tax deductible. See, almost everybody in here has had a meal or went to a reception or something where a company paid for it. Anybody ever had that happen? Raise your hand. Okay, we've all done that, right? Okay, well now you're the company. See, that company paid, you got the refreshments or the meal, they deducted it on their taxes, right? All right, that's saving your money on taxes, all right? But now you're the company. See, that's what's required is we have to reverse the thinking, right? See, if a person is thinking about the employee line, they'll never do this. Because it won't make sense. Yes, ma'am.
So when I have Christmas dinner, I invite my family over.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to talk about my econ and write off my Christmas dinner.
Yes, and you don't even have to talk about my econ. This is how you do it. You get your... You can talk about my econ. My family, they're a little crazy. They run their way about that. They're talking about their business and stuff. So this is, you have to sometimes, according on who you're dealing with, you can put you can get you a little card, right? Mm-hmm. And have your web address on your card. And your phone number on your card. You write those out if you want to. So when your guests come in, you just give it to them. Say, well, today, we're glad to have you at our home. We have a great time. We have a great meal. And even though we're not going to talk in details in business today, the food that we're buying and the prosperity that we've had in our families because of our business. And in close, you have our web address, you got our phone number. We want you in the next couple of days to go look at this website, check out our business. In a couple of days, we're going to be following up with you and talk about some strategies that can help you put thousands of dollars in your pocket. Maybe even help you get out of debt and start a business. Does that make sense? Yeah. And now your business, your Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner qualify as tax deductible. Okay? That's what it's done. Hey, I can give you an example. Okay, I'll be right there, okay? When you went to and you ever been to a concert and somebody was advertising? They didn't talk about their product, did they?
No.
No, they just had the sign there, didn't they? and that advertising was tax deductible. Am I correct? Yes. Okay, so you can go all the way if you want to, right? But on Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'm gonna be really trying to eat. I'm really not gonna. Okay. All right, I'm listening. Go ahead.
So what about events like things and family reunions and big events like that? How can you write a portion?
You can turn all of those. You can make all of those partially tax deductible by having them sponsored by your business. Okay, you have, okay, an example, if you go online, okay, the Kardashians made a lot of their money that way, okay? They sponsor events. You know, you have wedding companies that they'll give people a wedding dress away, or let somebody use jewelry, or they'll pay for the cake as long as they get to advertise their name. Am I correct?
Hello.
Okay, so all you got to do is just mark your stuff from an advertising basis, and it's tax deductible.
The whole thing.
Melinda?
Hey, I'd like to share. I actually sponsored a golf event for the sorority. I put up a My Econ sign, put my website and my phone number. It was $100. It was tax deductible, and I got a prospect from it. So.
There you go. That's what it's all about right there. It's real simple. And that happens every day in business, doesn't it? Because see, the bottom line is, and we hadn't talked about building your business yet, but when we get over there, is you've got to advertise and promote your business so that people will do business with you, right? And if people start seeing your business name and seeing you doing sponsorships, they don't have to be real expensive, and seeing you do that, then they're going to think more of your business, aren't they? You know? See, the business thing doesn't have to be inside this little box where we think about, we buy a product and then we go to a friend and try to sell it to them. You know? It's about the concept and the overall concept of building a business and building a brand. Does that make sense? You know, we do sponsorships like that all the time. And so with our business, you know, because My Econ's a corporation, but then our family, we also have a My Econ distributorship, okay? And so we do promotions like that all the time to build our business. Absolutely. Okay? Yes, sir.
What I've seen, at least the environment that I've grown up in, I can't speak for anybody else, but a lot of the black people that I'm around, they're definitely afraid of the IRS. And I tell my wife all the time, you know, you kind of alluded to the whole red flagging thing. What is your idea of, what do you think of using our bank accounts to corroborate our write-offs in the event of that? Is that a smart way to keep the IRS off of us? If we use bank statements to corroborate what we're asking the government not to take.
You can use that. It didn't work.
It doesn't work.
No. What the IRS want is they want to know who, what, where, why. 4 things.
Okay.
So you can have a receipt. If it's over $75, or less than $75, you don't need a receipt.
Okay.
And you need to document who'd you pay the money to, what it was for. Okay. Where did the expense take place?
Gotcha.
Okay. And why? What was the purpose of the expense? And what we actually have is we have a piece of software that we call the cash flow manager that comes on your phone, tablet, or computer, and you can just put the information in, and we've already got the prompts there to put all that there. And because even if you use your bank account, that tells the amount, but it still doesn't tell who, what, where, and why. Okay, and then the next thing we do in My Econ is we actually teach taxes from the IRS website. Line by line. So we just go to the IRS website and pull down their publication, we say turn to the page number, and we all read it together. And many people, you know, they are afraid of the IRS. But you know, it's like I tell people all the time, is education solves all that. You know, when you're teaching it from the IRS website and you're showing people your experiences, then, you know, they'll say, okay, that makes sense, and they can move forward with that. Here's another thing that happens, okay, is that businesses are built in layers, okay? We build our business on what we call a 10-4-1 sales funnel, okay? We got 10 prospects, you know, we say, hey, we got great information that can put money in your pocket. We invite them to hear a presentation. About 4 out of the 10, only 40% will even listen, you know? And then out of those 4 that listen, 1 gonna sign up. So 10 prospects equal 1 new business associate in our business, right? But on the 10-4-1 sales funnel, you can still make hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? And so, and what happens too, and I've been doing this for 38 years now, is that there's going to be somebody back here in that 1041 sales funnel that this year they wasn't ready. You know, and next year or 2 years down the road, they're going to be ready because they've been watching. And they've been listening to other stuff, you know. And so we can't really expect everybody to move day one because they're not comfortable in here yet, right? You know, even though they read it and they said, okay, that's what it said, they still was like, I don't know, because they had 40 years of thinking the other way, right? And so you can't change them all in 20 minutes, but we do change them over a period of time. And so it's pretty easy, you know, when you're actually teaching it from the website, and that's what we do. We just go to IRS, and we've got Miss Alma back here. Raise your hand. She's going to teach tomorrow. And she is a CPA, so she's going to be teaching us. She's going to be teaching our tax section tomorrow. And then, but what we do is we teach everybody how to do it, because everybody can read, write, and they just say in the South, and arithmetic, right? And so we teach everybody to teach that class, but we got the expert tomorrow that's going to be teaching that class, okay? All right. So then the last one is wages, okay? If your child worked for McDonald's and McDonald's paid them $3,000, $4,000 a year, McDonald's would write that off their taxes, okay? So in other words, if McDonald's made $1 million in revenue and they paid your child $4,000, they're going to write the $4,000 off, and the government's not going to say they only made $996,000. Okay, so they made less money, they pay less taxes. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, if you are the employee and you hire your own child, you can do the same thing. But you've got an advantage over McDonald's. See, when you start understanding what you've got here, you'll see that America is the place to get wealthy. I know we got all kind of mess going on in America. I'm not blind, you know. I mean, Ray Charles could see that, okay? He's blind and dead. Okay? I'm just saying. And I like Ray, okay? I'm just saying. So I know we got stuff going on. But you can still get rich in America. American laws are positioned to help people get wealthy. People come from all over the world here because this is the place to get wealthy. Okay? And that's the agenda that we're talking about tonight, is how you get wealth. Everybody understand what I'm talking about? All right, so here's what I'm saying. See, you were going to spend money on your child anyway. You were going to spend money on your grandchildren anyway. McDonald's was not. So McDonald's maybe paid your child $4,000 to do some work. Okay, they get right off on their taxes, so it saved them 40%. Okay, so 40% of the $4,000, it saved McDonald's $1,600 in taxes, but it still cost them $2,400 out of their pocket. But see, you were going to spend the money on your child or your grandchild anyway. Okay, so if you spend $4,000 on your child, it's going to lower your taxable income. Well, you're going to spend anyway. School clothes, spending money, lunch money, dance lessons, music lessons, whatever, right? Okay? So, check this out, okay? Let's say that somebody made $60,000, I'll just pick a number on a job, okay? And they were going to spend, and they were going to pay 25% in taxes. Well, that's $15,000, okay? But if somebody made $60,000, they hired their child for $4,000 to do some work in the business, post stuff to social media, wash the company car, that's your car, okay, whatever it is you're going to have them doing, right? Now the government say you make $56,000. Okay? So now you pay 15% on that, 15% on $56,000 instead of 15% on $60,000, so you save $1,000 in taxes. And you still, but you had that whole $4,000, and you can still spend whatever you're going to spend on your child. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that's how anybody ever heard the term old money?
Old money.
Okay? Old money simply means that you take money and you pass it to the next generation, and they make money with the money rather than labor. That's how they do it, because your child and your grandchild is in a less tax bracket than you, and it doesn't cost you money to do that. Okay? Everybody understand what's going on there? All right, so that's the second way to go out and put money in your pocket. So let's say you're working a job now, you got a business now, and you're making money, you got a job, you're going to change your W-4, get some cash, and you're going to start lowering your taxes to put more cash in your pocket right now. Okay, that's before you even start doing the business. Now, we don't do that we don't have a business just to save money on taxes, okay? We want to monetize our business and actually make money in business, okay? So the next step, we want to go build a business. Now, the best way in the world to build a business is to find a product or service that solves a problem. Well, what problem are we solving? There are millions of people in this country, according to the IRS, 83% of Americans overpay their taxes. So if you can provide somebody with the information that's going to save them $3,000 or $4,000 on taxes, that's a great product, isn't it? So that's a better product, than saving somebody 50% on their phone bill. Nothing wrong with you. If you save somebody 50% on the phone bill, that's great. But this is a better product, okay? Now, showing somebody how to change their W-4, get their cash, and pay off the debt, that's a great product, okay? So we're in the business of helping people improve their finances by improving or increasing their cash flow. That's the business that we're in. Sometimes people struggle with that because they're like, well, what's your product? And so I asked them, what product do they have in college? Information that, when properly implemented, can improve your life. That's our product. Information, when properly implemented, can improve your life. Does that make sense? That's our number one product. So let's talk about it. So we provide everybody with a world-class business system. You get a world-class website, okay, that you can do business, or customers can do business with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on your phone, tablet, or computer, okay? So you get a world-class website. Our number one product is our financial success membership. Membership has its privileges. You get a Netflix membership, you have access to more entertainment. You get a gym membership, you get the idea. Well, our membership provides you with financial information, tools, and software that's going to help you improve your cash flow. Let's talk about them very quickly. Number one, we got the income shifting strategy on the taxes I just talked about. That can put thousands of dollars in people's pockets. We got the cash flow manager software that comes on your phone, keeps all of your, to manage all your cash flow, okay? Keep all your tax records. It's even got a GPS system, so all you got to do is just turn it on your phone, and it'll track all your miles for you, and so you don't have to worry about having to prove to the IRS that you drove your miles at the end of the year. You got an electronic record. Does that make sense? All right. You got identity theft protection. That's a big topic today, right? Yeah. That's all a part of the membership. You got free and discount legal services, things like wills, okay? You got discounts on just about every type of legal issue that you can imagine. And there's 11 free services, okay? There's over $2,000 of free legal services in that package. You got credit education, which can help a person improve their credit score. There are tens of thousands of my income people that we've helped improve their credit score by 50 to 100 points or more in just less than a 90 to 120 day period of time. You got discount travel and corporate perks, okay? Plus many more things in that membership. Now we market that membership to people who say, yes, I want to improve my finances, and I understand that I need a business to help me maximize that. So you have programs out here that say you can pay off your debt by putting more money on your debt. And that's true, you can. If you can come up with extra $300 a month or $200 a month, put it on your debt, you'll pay your debt off early. Am I correct? Okay? But what if you don't have the extra $300 a month? Or what if the extra $200 a month? See, our program is based on you having a business and using the strategies to get the money from your cash flow right now, because we improve your tax situation. So you're going to be able to get, because everybody is not in a position to have the extra $300 or $200 to pay off their debt. So, but when you change the W-4, you got it. Okay, when you get more tax deductions, now you can get the cash and you're not owing taxes at the end of the year. See, we got to change something other than just say sacrifice. Sacrifice works, but it's not the best, is it? It's not the best, okay? And then like I tell people all the time, a little sacrifice along with the strategy wouldn't hurt either, okay? Right. All right. Now, we also market other discount products and services retail. We do that through our retail strategy. We just post all of our products and services on every associate's website. All they do is simply refer people to the website, the people make purchases, and the associate gets paid. No inventory, no shipping, no customer service, you know, and so literally you can make unlimited income simply by doing business online. We have people on our team that make thousands of dollars every month just selling products online. They're not even talking to the people. Does that make sense? Anybody ever bought something online and you don't know who you bought it from? You just bought the brand? Is that correct? You just bought the brand, right? Well, guess what? When you're on the web, don't nobody know who you are. Don't nobody even care. They just want to know, do you have a good price? Does that make sense? And we beat the prices out there every time. How? The companies pay us a commission. So it doesn't matter what the price is. It doesn't matter what they're selling this hotel for tonight. It doesn't matter what the room rates are. We're going to beat the price every time because they're going to pay us a commission. And we're going to give the customer half our commission. We're going to be cheaper every time. Every time. It doesn't matter the price. They're going to pay us a commission of $15. We're going to split the commission per night, per room. And then if you get in business, you're going to make it deductible, right? See, we can improve the situation every time. See, some people are going to go to the football game on Sunday, they're going to pay full price. And that's the end of it. Other people are going to go to the football game on Sunday, they're going to pay full price for the tickets, but they're going to write it off. And they're going to write off all of the refreshments. Does that make sense for everybody? Yeah. See, we just got to go to that next step. That next step is when you put it inside of that business model. That's what gives you the advantage. Everybody with that, raise your hand. Just raise your hands. All right? That's what it's all about, okay? It doesn't have to be my econ. Now, we want you all in my econ, right? Because we're going to help you build a business. But if you got another business, we're going to help you run that business better too. And you can even market that business in my econ. See, our goal is to help people build wealth. And all of that wealth is not going to be built in my econ. You know, all that wealth is not going to be in my econ. You're going to take some of the cash you make in my econ, and you're going to go open up new businesses, okay? Or you might have another business now. You meet some people in my econ, and you get them to invest in your current business. Everybody understand what we're talking about? We're in the wealth building business. My econ is simply a vehicle that provides the knowledge, the information, and the support system to help you do it better. Everybody good with that? Yes. All right, let's finish up strong. Now, we've got a world-class compensation plan, okay? Because we've got to get paid, right? Now, we've got the fastest pay and promotion system in the industry. When you sponsor 2 people, generate $200 in product CV commissions, you're promoted to our first leadership position called EVP, Executive Vice President, okay? All right. Now, from there, you can earn up to 100% of the sales CV, the sales commission on all personal sales, up to 85% on team sales, okay? So maybe somebody go to your website and they book this hotel, okay? Or maybe somebody buy an airline ticket, or maybe somebody buy something from Walmart, you get paid on it. Or maybe somebody buy shoes over at Macy's and you get paid on it. See, you can get in the supply chain without inventory, customer service, or shipping and start making money. So you can build you a business, and that's what it's all about, okay? Now, and you never have to recruit anybody to be successful. So you can lower your taxes, eliminate your debt, correct your W-4, start investing and market online without ever recruiting a single person. You don't have to recruit anybody to be successful in my econ. But here's the reality, okay? The market for helping people and making money in my econ is so big, it's almost overwhelming. Yep. See, when I sat down 13 years ago and started writing all of this for my econ, writing out our business plan, I could have easily, when I got through writing, said, you know what? I already had an office in Atlanta. I could have just sat at my office. I could have ran ads in the newspaper or done it online, had people come by my office and pay me $200 consulting fee for the same information. And I'd have got 3 or 4 customers every day, made $800 to $1,000 a day. I'd know how to lower my taxes. I'd invested that money and done business the same way. Okay? So this business works on a one-on-one basis. It doesn't need network marketing. Why do we do network marketing? Because when I look back, I said, well, wait a minute now. There's over 100 million people that's making financial mistakes. 100 million of them. The day before is wrong. So the IRS got their money instead of them. Now watch what happens when you, I don't know the numbers in Chicago, okay? But I know the numbers in Atlanta, okay? Let's take a middle class family in Atlanta. They're making $60,000 a year, they got $5,000 a month, okay? All right. But they don't bring home $5,000. They bring home $3,700. Now, because they bring home $3,700, most of those people don't, now they got to pay for housing, which is going to be rent or mortgage. That's $1,200, so we're down to $2,500. We got a car note. Okay, so now they're down to $1,800. They haven't paid for food. They haven't paid for entertainment. They haven't gone clothes shopping. And bottom line, at the end of the month, they're not investing and saving money. So a large percentage of those people are renting. And they're in debt. See, there's a cause and effect here. See, we got to go back. We got to go beyond. It's good. It's wonderful. It's exciting, and it's motivating. There's a cause, and there's an effect. Because the taxes are too high, because people don't know how to get them down, they don't get enough of their paycheck, they get in debt. And then when they get in debt, a large percentage of their paycheck go to paying interest on debt. So they make $5,000, they live on $2,500. So we got to unpeel the onion backwards. That make sense for everybody? Yeah. We got to start at the source. We got to get the tax dollars. So this person that's making $5, instead of bringing home $3,700, we got to help them bring home $4,400 or $4,500. So now they got more cash, and they can start putting money away, so they can very quickly get to a position where they're buying instead of renting. They got to have a higher credit score, so they can pay 3 or 4% on a mortgage instead of 5 or 6 or get denied. Everybody understand what's going on? Yeah. That's what we do in my econ. So the market to help people is overwhelming. It's $1 trillion market. It's bigger than the cell phone business. It's bigger than the NBA. Bigger than the NFL. Bigger than Major League Baseball. It's bigger than all of them combined. When I was in college, I told all my buddies, I said, we'll come back at 50 and I have more money than all of them combined. And I had 4 people that was in my class that played in the NFL. 28 people on my team played in the NFL. And we didn't get back at 50. We got back, I'm 58 now, we got back in my 50s, and I had more money than all of them combined. Because they don't know how money works. See, that's the market. So how do we help people and make money simultaneously? And see, if you're helping people and you're providing value, you deserve to get paid. When you enroll somebody in our membership, it's $35 a month. And we show you how to let the government pay for it. They pay $35, we pay you $35. They pay $35, we pay $35. The next week we pay it out to you. Because we know that a lot of those people are going to be around with us year after year after year. So we can pay out the upfront money and make our money on the backside. When people on your team enroll people, you get up to $25 to infinity. Now imagine getting 10 people a week coming on your team, or 20 people a week coming on your team, and you get $25 a person. See, we got many people right here in Chicago, they get checks every single week, because they got membership sales coming in. As a matter of fact, I already know the numbers for tomorrow. And we got some people in this room that's getting bonus checks tomorrow. Matter of fact, they tried to take all the money when they was done. They weren't even nice. I don't get that. They want to take all the bonus checks in Atlanta. So we got a $50,000 bonus going on this. We got $50,000 bonus going on this month, and tomorrow we're gonna have the drawing. So we got some people in this room that I know already getting the bonuses. I looked at them before I left Atlanta. Okay. Now, so see, you start building your team because you're providing them value that's going to help them in their life. Now, what happens when you get a team? Imagine having a team of 50 people paying you $5 to $10 a month. Okay, you know, I like to talk conservative numbers, right? 50 people paying you $5 a month, that's $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year. You know how much money you got to have in the bank to make $3,000 a year? At 3%, which you can't get at the bank, you need $100,000. If you're going to buy an annuity that's 5%, you need 50. At 6%, an annuity that pays 6%, which is hard to get, you need $50,000. So I want to take a moment. I want to go back to my sidebar that I started earlier. Here is the big misleading aspect of American wealth. People have been told, okay, that the way you get wealth is to work and save a little money out of each paycheck, and that's going to make you wealthy by buying a product from the financial services. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you're never going to build great wealth that way. And that's not the way that a wealth was built in America. See, it wasn't built that way. See, because if you go that way, see, if I work and I take some of my paycheck and I buy a mutual fund, or I buy an annuity, or I buy index UL, nothing wrong with it. But I'm buying my wealth. But most people don't make enough money to buy wealth. The wealth in America was created, it wasn't bought. See, Oprah became a billionaire because she created the value. See, let me give you an example of what I mean. If you build a business based on your skill and your talent, based on the revenue that that business generates and the profits they make, then they assign a value to your business. It's just like a piece of property. If you got a piece of property that's making you $200 a month net, you know, $2,400 a year, well, now you got a piece of property that's maybe worth $100,000. Or if you got this hotel based on, you know, how much the room rates are and how many and what your capacity is, you know, how many what percentage of the rooms are rented, it'd be based on this property. If this hotel is here in Chicago, you can get a higher rate. It's got one value. You can take the exact same hotel with the exact same square footage, exact number of rooms, and you could put this somewhere in New Mexico, and the room rates will be half, and the amount of people the percentage of rooms that they fill every week would be less, and the value of this hotel would be less. Because it's not based on what they paid for it. It's not based on what it costs to build it. It's based on the revenue streams that it will generate. So when people start trying to buy wealth, that's very difficult. You got to build your wealth. The founder of BET, he had $15,000. So he was working part-time as a page in Congress, and he was there when they were talking about selling cable systems. He had $15,000. If he had taken the $15,000 and invested that with, say, a Merrill Lynch or E.F. Hutton or all good companies, right? And let's say he'd got 9% over the last 30 years. Okay? So I told you the rule of 72, right? So in 9 years, the $15,000 would have turned to 30. In 18 years, it would have been 60. In 27 years, it would have been 120. So you had $150,000, $200,000 there. Good return on $15,000. But he bought a cable license, which gives you the right to do business. and created 4 billion. Wealth is created. And God says, I give you power to gain wealth. So what does that mean? Inside of us, he has given us gifts and talents that we can build businesses. We can build businesses. And when we build businesses, we're going to create jobs. And we're going to create an economy, and then we can take part of that money and buy some more wealth if you want to do that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So what we got to start understanding is that we were given before the foundation of the earth what it takes for us to become wealthy. We just got to know we got it. You know, I went to Georgia Tech, right? So I was a good football player. You know, except when we played Florida, right? Notre Dame. and so, you know, my family, they just imagine Ivy, man, he gonna get out of Georgia Tech, he gonna get him a real nice corporate job in banking, he gonna come back home, be the football coach or maybe the principal, you know, and that was cool, right? You know, and I went to Georgia Tech and I got out and I went into business. And my family said, that boy went to Georgia Tech and got stupid. Because they couldn't understand what was making me come up with this decision that I'd rather just bet on me and the gifts that God gave me, that I could build a multi-million-dollar deal instead of help build that for somebody else. Nothing's wrong with either decision, but here's the reality. We got to have 2 or 3%. It ain't even everybody. Now, hopefully everybody in this room, you'll be one of those people, right? But we got to have 2 or 3% of our population, of our community, build businesses. So the whole community will be taken care of. That's any population. You need 2, 3, 4% to build businesses, to provide jobs, to be the investors, to build the wealth. Does that make sense? See, that's what you're doing here. So imagine now you go out here and get you 50 people that's paying you $5 to $10 a month. Well, you just built a $50,000 asset. What about when you got 500 people? What if you got 5,000 people? What if you do like Sid that came in this business and you go build that in 90 days? What if you do like Andrew that came in this business and build that in 90 days? See, now she's building wealth. Everybody understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. So you can create it faster than you can buy it. So yes, if you got money, it can help you build a business. But you don't need money to build wealth. You need talent. And you need work habits. And you need a system. Does that make sense? So let's finish up. All right. So we talked about 3 ways to get cash flow. We're going to get cash flow from W-4, minimizing taxes and business, right? We're going to take that cash flow and knock out all your debt quick. Okay, in this example, we're using $1,000 a month. We paid off a car, a $17,000 car in 12 months instead of 32. We paid off a Visa card in 5 months instead of 78. We paid off a $200,000 house in 68 months instead of 360 months. Now the debt's gone. Now we're going to take that cash and start investing. And see, we didn't start doing this yesterday. I was doing this back when we was doing it on paper. We was keeping all of our mileage, doing all of our training, everything on paper. Training would last forever, right? And so we're not guessing. We don't hope it worked this way. We don't think it worked this way. We know it works this way. We've been doing it for, 30 plus years. See, in this example, we saved we paid off $225,000 of debt, 85 months. Saved over $350,000 of interest payments. This would make your creditors wealthy. And freed up $2,900 a month. So I want everybody to just think for a moment as we get ready to finish up. If you paid 50% less taxes and had no debt, how much more cash would you have in your pocket every month? And do you want to be in that position? Because the only person in the world that can put you in that spot is you. You're the only person that can get you there. The last strategy is the fund strategy. Take the money you freed up, start investing. That's a fun strategy. You do what you want with the money. Spend some of it, save some of it, save all of it, spend all of it. It's yours, right? Okay? So in this example, we just show the power of your investment. In 10 years, you'd have over $500,000. 15 years, over $1 million, no debt. This $1 million will be making you 6 figures return every year off your investments. See, step by step by step, 5 cash flow streams. Step by step by step. And you go where you want to go. See, and 4 of the strategies are not based on you building a business. 4 of the strategies are based on whether you just want to do it or not. It's just your money. Now here's the best part of all, okay? The government gonna pay the bill. Did you know that there are thousands of companies in the state of Illinois right now because they got a tax break to come? Okay, they got tax incentives to come, okay? See, when you get in My Econ, you're gonna get a personalized website to help you market your business. You're gonna get a world-class business system. You're gonna get our membership, okay, which has the income strategy, the software, identity theft, free and discount legal services, credit education, discount travel, and it's all tax deductible. So you're not just writing off the $35 a month. Now that you have this business, you write off part of your mileage on your car, part of your cell phone, part of your internet access, part of eating out, part of travel. Does that make sense? Part of the money that you're going to spend on your kids for school clothes, spending money, lunch money, all those things. So now, most people are saving more money on taxes than it even costs them to get in business. See, somebody's going to say, well, I don't know, I can afford it. You lose money by not affording it. You may not do a My Econ business, but please get you a business of some kind. Whether that's baking cakes, doing nails, something, sewing clothes. Everybody needs a business. Does that make sense? Because it's going to save you more money than it costs you to be in business. So I say, the government pays the bill. Y'all ready to say it with me? The government pays the bill. One more time. The government pays the bill. You see, the biggest welfare recipient in America is the business owners. Ain't got nothing to do with them trying to help somebody. How much money do you think Kroger make every year on money that was given to somebody else? How much money do you think the grocery stores make? Everybody understand what I'm talking about now? How much money do you think real estate companies and investment companies make off a rent that was paid by the government? The biggest welfare recipient in America is the business community. Everybody got it? So the government pays the bill. Thank y'all very much. Thank you. All right.
I know y'all excited, and I know you're not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Is there any questions before we move on? Does anybody have any questions?
I wonder if I just don't pay taxes anyway, and my W-4 is already set up the way I want to. How do I free up the money I would have paid taxes with?
Well, okay, so you're saying, okay,
I'm tax exempt.
okay, but you owe at the end of the year.
No, I don't. I already got a business, so no, I don't pay that.
Okay, so if you already got a business, what you should do is just teach it to 4,000 or 5,000 people to become a millionaire. You know, it's like when I started this. I already had the tax system in place, but I saw an opportunity to teach it to other people, enhance their lives, and make money at the same time.
Because my
Yeah. So yours is diversifying your income stream.